All right, welcome everyone. We're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for
BoJack Horseman, Season 2, Episode 10.
All
Oh,
right.
shit.
We're set up for a really, really intense episode here.
Uh-huh.
And even though it's not necessarily going to be a very, dark and scary episode,
Sure.
it is one where there is a lot of drama rife for the percolating. So, let's jump right on into this mess.
Need direction? I'm listening.
I see it, Scientology!
Oh my god.
Shit, let's go!
Sir.
Destroy them!
Yeah.
Trying improv comedy
Oh,
Hey, nice. Okay.
that's much safer, damn it.
here on Mars. We're on Mars? Yes. And in a Martian
Todd would be
ice
perfect for
Care
improv.
for a butterscotch swirl? Whoa! The only limit is my imagination.
You sure we got it, Abe?
Of course, you were phenomenal.
Really? Because that kid sneezed in the middle of my monologue.
We can fix that in post.
Abe, I'm supposed to tell you the boom mic fell into the last shot.
Secretariat's a nice guy. The Spanish kids learn a lesson. Boom, bam, done.
But Secretariat never actually taught math in South Central.
I don't know what Secretariat did or didn't do. I wasn't there.
Yeah, but
Okay, so the studio wants...
You're my favorite client. If I left Vigor, would you follow me to a new agency?
sure. But no one's gonna hire me after this movie comes out. The script turned into a piece of shit, and the director is a total hack.
No. Oh, that was horrifying.
Applesauce. Oh, that was so funny. Which one of you guys wrote all those funny jokes?
That wasn't that funny. My name's Brian, and you haven't won me over yet.
Oh, Brian. Todd, in improv, we get suggestions from an audience, then we make up scenes based on them. There's just a few simple rules. You don't ask questions. You don't say no
Yes.
matter what.
Yeah.
And when someone makes a suggestion, you always try to build on it.
Right. Yes, and. Yep.
But improv isn't just about a constant clamoring for attention and validation. It's about community. I've always wanted to be part of a community. Well, you are now. Your first class is $200.
There it is.
I
Yep.
thought you said it was free. Oh, that was just me doing an improv.
I want to hear someone else talk about what a selfless hero my wife is. Now come on.
Most of the refugees got their tongues cut out.
Find one with a tongue.
I don't think that's really...
Indulge me.
Okay. Hello, I am refugee from village. My name is...
She's gonna process what happened. Oh,
Coffee maker.
Kofi Makir. Am I pronouncing that right?
Guys, look. It's Copernicus. Who's that?
What are you, new?
Yes, I am new.
Copernicus is the founder
He said
of
yes.
Shenanigans.
He's yes and
That
me.
is the Janove Waldner of modern improv.
Who is Janove Waldner?
The
Oh, you're asking
local king of
questions.
Table tennis.
Oh,
Face.
hello, old ma'am.
Oh, hello. I'm just waiting for my friend Doris. Have you seen her?
Yes, and she exploded.
Doris exploded? You just got proud!
Your face, baby! The streets are ours! I did it!
Briefly won me over. BoJack, Abe tells me you guys are almost done with the movie.
1 week left.
You
Okay.
two lovebirds gonna do any traveling or anything?
Well, apparently I'll be traveling back and forth to New York for the next few months because BoJack's doing a play there right after you finish.
Yeah, I can't wait to finally work on something good, you know?
Ooh.
Oh?
Yeah, although I gotta hand it to your husband, it has been a really painless shoot. Even though the movie's gonna be a piece of shit, am I right?
What?
Oh, he's a piece of ship, right? Like ship shape. Anyway, what were we talking about? Who knows?
Yeah, New York is so great in the summer, but I don't think we're going to be done in time. We're looking at a ton of reshoots.
Reshoots,
Yeah.
are you kidding?
Well, you know, because the movie's such a piece of shit and all.
You're the one who said we're not making Casablanca.
Doesn't mean it's a piece of
Because
shit.
Casablanca is a movie about a club owner.
Ah!
oh my god.
There was a misunderstanding, and that mister is me, understanding you just fine. You come into my home and you call my work shit? You know what? I think you're shit.
What?
You think I don't get enough takes? I'll get more takes.
Why did you have to
I'm sorry,
antagonize him?
BoJack.
I
That's
wasn't
that
trying
was
to
rough.
antagonize
That's
him.
rough.
He said it's no Casablanca.
Well, what's done is done.
Of course, you're happy about it. You didn't want me to go to New York in the first place. And now, lucky
Ah,
me,
shit.
I get to stay here and work on this terrible movie that's gonna ruin my career.
Well, there's no reason to sulk about it, right?
I just had the the most amazing improv session.
No one cares, Todd.
Hey, you guys want to help me practice? Make a suggestion.
Stop.
Oh, sorry, officer. I didn't see that stop sign. Yes. And my car runs on farts.
I learned a little about cults during that year I was a Scientologist. Because coincidentally, during that year, I happened to read a book about cults.
Right, so this is the Scientology episode without it being Scientology.
Would you talk to her?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I am a Nazi Kardashian. Hey, Hitler.
Please stop.
Brian's not going to be at practice anymore. He's been pretty negative, so Copernicus thought he could benefit from some time away. He's been reassigned to the Shenanigans Comedy Cruise Line, the Giggle Ship.
Wait.
Is that a reward or a punishment? That's up to Brian.
Wait. Who's Copernicus actually then?
If you think Shenanigans is a cult, you're free to go, Todd.
Oh no, I don't want to go. I love this
I have a
place.
community.
My friend
Yeah.
Doesn't know how great you guys are.
It sounds like your friend's not yes-anding you.
Wow. Nice.
So, hey,
Jeez.
hi. How long are you thinking of staying here? Just for my own reference.
Oh, shit. Is Wanda making you get rid of me?
No one is making me do anything.
I really thought I could do it. I thought I could go far away and help people and be this best possible version of myself.
And what happened?
I couldn't. I wasn't the person I thought I was.
Today, we're filming what used to be the scene where Secretariat commits suicide, but is now a scene where he swims in a fishing hole with his girlfriend Susie Side.
Yeesh.
Whoa.
Well, if you want to blow off work, I'm probably just gonna sit on the couch, drink beer, and watch old episodes of Horsing Around.
And if I hear one more peep out of you... Sabrina!
What? I didn't peep.
Oh...
Sabrina was such a little bitch.
She was an orphan. She had a tough life.
Hey, Diane, you're still here. And BoJack is here. Did you go to work today?
I was gonna, but then I remembered that everything is garbage, so why bother doing anything?
Hello.
Hey, could you get the door?
Well,
Oh.
property's gonna be ready in June. That gives us 2 months to get everything we need out of this place.
Perfect.
Just so you know, I had to register the corporation in your name.
What?
Just until the divorce is finalized.
Rutabaga and I are starting a new agency, and we want you to come with us.
Well, well, well. What delicious irony. It appears the cat is chasing the dog.
Actually, pretty good.
Yeah.
BoJack, I wanted to invite you to my graduation show tomorrow night.
What?
Look, I know you think it's just a dumb cult, but you're my best friend, and it would really mean a lot if you came.
Hello?
Hey, BoJack, what kind of pants are you wearing right now?
What? I don't know. The normal kind?
Yeah? Are they comfy? A comfy pair of pants?
I guess.
To set up for the
Oh, I
joke.
was just wondering what kind of hit you're gonna take when the studio sues the pants off you for breach of contract. Are you saying you're finally ready to settle down with yours truly?
Darn tootin'. I may be a professional racehorse, but I'm tired of running in circles.
Cut! Perfect, but let's get that last part again.
I'm tired of running in circles. 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 I'm tired of running in circles.
Let's get it 10 more times.
So, good news. We're going to go on a trip. Right now, you and me.
What?
I already booked us a room for the weekend, so pack your bags. Let's go.
Where? Why?
Less asking, more basking. And the sun, that is Santa Barbara.
I'm not really in the mood
I
for...
think some time away could be really good for us as a couple.
Oh.
Oh, yeah.
All I've ever wanted was to be in this movie, and you just want me to put on a happy face and what?
Yes, there are lots of people who don't like their jobs. That doesn't mean they have to bring it home with them.
Yeah,
and
that's easy for you to say.
what is that supposed to mean? I actually have a lot of pride in what I do.
What, you have a lot of pride? Your job is to pump out garbage every
Nice.
year, hoping that some
Ah,
of the garbage
fuck.
stinks less than the rest of the garbage, so you can quietly renew that garbage and keep failing sideways until you retire to a 3.5-bedroom garbage in Beverly Garbage and spend the rest of your life watching your former assistant's garbage. Great house, great career, great life. That must be why I'm so goddamn happy all the time. You don't even know.
Oh, I don't know.
My life was ruined by a network executive like you.
I'm sorry that things have been so hard for you, but that doesn't give you the right to be shitty to me. I can't be around someone who's just fueled by bitterness and negativity.
Well then, what are you doing here?
What
Goddamn.
happened, BoJack?
Same thing that always happens. You didn't know me. Then you fell in love with me. And now you know me.
You know, it's funny. When you look at someone through rose-colored glasses, All the
slow
red
pan
flags
out.
just look like flags.
So Wanda's moving out.
Oh shit. Because of me?
No, because of me.
I'm sorry. You want to watch another episode of Horsing Around? We're at the one where Olivia does the school project where she pretends an egg is a baby.
Why won't you go home?
Yeah.
I should. I know I should.
Yeah.
I wish I could just go home right now and crawl into bed and not have to talk about anything or explain anything. And I wouldn't have to say, I'm sorry I left. I'm sorry I made things so difficult. I'm sorry I'm not the person I thought I was. I would just say, my day was good. And he would say, I love you.
You know, the longer you keep lying to him, the harder it's gonna get.
Yeah.
Yep.
Can I ask you something? That play in New York, would that really have made you happy?
Yeah.
Ooh.
I mean, for a little bit.
So what does it matter?
But there has to be more.
Well, when's the last time you were actually happy?
Wow. Oh.
You microchipped my penis? Check, please. Microchip.
Oh. Yeah.
Yeah.
Getting invited into level 2.
Right.
I can't do this anymore.
You can't do what anymore?
I can't talk to you on the phone all the time. It's too hard. Maybe we should stop calling each other for a little bit. I'm sorry. I just miss you too much. But listen, I love you. Okay?
Yeah. Okay. I love you, Diane.
Where is he?
I don't know, sir.
Can't do this to me. Where the hell is he?
Yeah. Wow.
Damn.
Wow.
Okay.
Oh, next episode is gonna be
Holy
fire. Holy
shit.
shit.
Holy
Oh.
shit.
What is it with episode 10s setting up episode 11s to be like perfect?
Yep.
Okay.
All right.
All right. We got ourselves a good follow-up episode. Diane is way in the dumps right now. This is way more than I thought this was going to be.
I feel like this almost sets up the whole rest of the show, or at least the arc for several characters, because like up until now, we've had characters going in the different arcs that they've been going on, right?
Yeah, I mean, this is a 6th-season show, so I
That's true.
definitely
So
think that there's going to be a lot of ups and downs for everybody. But yeah, Diane specifically
This
went
was
on
pivotal.
she pivoted so hard.
Right.
And the show understood how much of a mistake this was by lying to herself, that they used the visual representation of her just drinking herself into a stupor, completely disregarding her own personal well-being.
And BoJack, because he's the most similar to this, he knows how hard it is to come out of this. And so not just from the, yes, it'll be harder to tell the truth after you've been lying for so long, you know, so.
But he's also not really doing anything to stop it, because he's like, well, like, just going to be there for her, but not actually be involved because it's not my shit.
But also it's the, this is
kind of
what my
enabling her.
tendencies have been. So it's the worst possible combination, because not only does he enable her, but it's also something where then he basically sinks back down to her level, well, where she's at now, when he's actually been making a shit ton of progress.
Yeah, because he wants to be liked so much that even if someone's in a shitty situation taking advantage of his hospitality, I guess, he likes the fact that they are showing an interest in him.
Right.
So he runs away from the problems and puts himself into these people's path, even if they don't really have anything for him. And then when he has an opportunity to help himself, instead he goes to somebody else and is like, well, I want to help them rather than me, because working on me, that I have to acknowledge and face some things that are really painful. So yeah, really, really juicy episode. And we actually got a really good Todd B plot here.
Yeah.
Yes, improv is a cult.
Right.
Improv, right.
Scientology, not a cult. Improv, definitely a cult.
No, not at all. Yeah. I liked that they clarified that, because I was about to be kind of like booing BoJack a little bit for being kind of cowardly in that regard, to be like, no, call it like it is. Like, make fun of religions that are stupid,
Yeah.
this stupid bullshit. Yeah, make fun of a really powerful cult that's slowly taking over Hollywood. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And see, before that happened, I thought that they were actually just shitting on improv. I'm like, hey, improv's great.
Improv's amazing. And then
Yeah.
they started pointing out some of the things of it, and I'm like, well, yes, there can be some improv situations that would run somewhat similar to that, but that just sounds like they're more using it as the stand-in for Scientology.
Yeah, and I will say the one experience that I did have with improv where I was like, oh, huh, like not that it was a bad thing or whatever, but just like a oof, in that it's not very lucrative. So getting the people that will want to learn improv, it's the yes, hang on to them as much as possible because holy shit, we make zero money off of this.
Nothing.
Right? We make nothing off of this.
Nobody goes to improv
We do this
shows.
because we love it, and probably on some level for the people that have been in it longer. I wasn't able to do better stuff. I basically wanted to do this as a springboard to learn a lot of good talents and tricks, and it just sort of stayed there.
And to kind of draw this in comparison here, you can look at someone like Colin Mockery and be like, oh my God, that is a legend in terms of improv acting. But to bring up a point here, Colin Mockery is still doing was still doing the show for a long period of time, even in his old age and stuff. And that's not because, he was he was just so good. It's that there's like nobody else that like necessarily wants to do or even is that good at improv acting, because it's such a not lucrative thing.
Yeah.
It's, if anything, what people generally look at when it's in terms of being like, well, doing what we're doing, essentially having like some kind of camera presence. It's, do you have the skill to use it? But that's not what you're getting paid for. That's just something on your tool belt that you can go, oh, when I'm having live content or I'm interacting with people and stuff, can you do improv? It will help those kinds of things.
Yeah.
But yeah,
and just acting in general, because a lot of the times it's the adjusting to like a script and a character that you need to be able to get into quickly. That way you can do it at the drop of a hat versus, you can't afford always to study a character for a month.
Right, exactly. Versus doing what BoJack is doing, which is specifically kind of trying to get into the person of Secretariat, and he can't really do that because he's being told to basically have new suggestions that he has to adjust into.
That whole thing is so rough.
He's not enjoying that at all.
Because it's another one of those situations of like, oh, someone else is in power and so you can't do anything, right? Granted, in a much more innocuous kind of situation than a lot of the ones that have been brought up until now.
Right.
But the idea that the dude was basically saying it too. And in fact, I fully believe that him reframing the Casablanca thing is actually him reframing it. And the problem that he has is not that BoJack thinks that or that BoJack said that, but that he said that in front of his wife. Right?
Yeah.
Where it's no, I very much keep that at work. It pays the bills and all that stuff. But no one wants to be seen in that way where they're,
like Diane,
maybe in front of their significant other, especially, where,
good connection there.
The good work that I put in, oh no, it's actually a bunch of unfulfilling bullshit, right?
He wants to be able to come home to his coq au vin and have a fun meal with them, and in fact, he's kind of lonely, so much so that he would rather have the actor that he's not necessarily a good friend with or anything come and experience that with him so that they can share in the pleasures of having that little bit of escape from the bullshit.
Right.
But
maintain the lie, right? Just like with improv where it's the, you don't say that that's what's going on, right? Don't look a gift horse in the mouth, maybe.
Yeah, exactly. But BoJack is also a little bit of someone as far as a loose cannon in terms of thinking about what he says. And that's probably, I think, the best thing about improv is it turns you into a great listener, because you have to understand how people are cueing you and setting you up. Because if you end up jumping on the thing that they're not cueing you for, you end up essentially throwing their suggestion away. And it's
even if it's something that, say, they brought up before, right? But they're not queuing you up for it now.
Right.
Because like, and of course, the fish guy is not actually that important.
No.
So in the story, so they're not going to have some conversation about it. And by this point, he's been embarrassed by BoJack, and so he hates him, and so there you go.
Yeah.
But I would not have been surprised if there was like a getting real conversation afterwards where he's still like, no, fuck you, I hate you. Why did you do that? But no, yeah, you're absolutely right. But come on, get with the program, kid.
Yeah. But I loved the way in which we clearly showed that this was not just the fish's fault. This is BoJack's as well. BoJack has selective hearing. He does not hear most of what Wanda says. Wanda tried to give him no, let's move on and let's talk about something else. Oh, what was that? I don't know. BoJack kept going in and basically ignored what she was saying. And thus then when she confronts him in this episode, later it's a thing of where BoJack, like, you've been absolutely just taking everything about her for granted. Now, while she is very much, living at your place and stuff like that, it's very understandable to have, a bit of a thing where this is, his house, he's going to run it this way. But you guys aren't in a relationship. Like, you guys are in an actual, living in relationship here. So her trying to come at this from at least the hierarchical position, she doesn't have as much power in this relationship because of the living space being BoJack's. So she's like trying to be like, hey, like, can you at least acknowledge my needs here? But
give me some consideration.
Give me some consideration, some acknowledgement, something. But because he gives her nothing over and over and over and over and over again, it's are those all red flags? Yes, but they're all not just independently red flags. It's that they keep building up and the flag keeps getting wider and wider and wider.
And the problem is that in a lot of ways, the rose-tinted glasses thing, yes, that's a great line.
Yeah.
And I think that's absolutely true. But from the standpoint of when they started, now maybe, who knows? I'm not as experienced with these kinds of relationships, right? So maybe it's something where it does actually start like really good and stuff because they're actively putting on their best behavior, and then that kind of falls away as it goes on. But the issues that BoJack had were very much made known to her, right?
Okay.
Like
I get where you're coming from. Yeah.
And it's the shit, this is something that I'm working on and I'm really trying to work on it. But then there gets to a point where basically it's the struggle goes badly, right? Like, because it's not going to be some linear thing where it's constantly like, yes, I'm doing all this good stuff.
Yeah.
And then once he's not making progress, he falls back into those old habits that he was specifically working to turn away from, and maybe that made it easier to have that kind of rose-tinted like lenses kind of deal, right?
Okay, so on the one hand, the point of this is that she wasn't seeing anything clearly because of the rose-tinted glasses. So the idea is that they had good chemistry in the very beginning of everything here. She then immediately puts on the rose-tinted glasses and basically just, there's nothing that's clear to her. It's all, from that standpoint, it's fine. She doesn't actually know him until she lives with him. And from there, it's been a while since she's been living with him. She has been seeing from then all the little things start to pile up. So it's okay, she needs to have proper conversation and talk about boundaries and stuff in that regard. And if he's not willing to do that, well then, there you go. You just leave.
And given the level of maturity that she is able to comport herself with in this relationship, then that definitely is something where it's like, okay, maybe you need someone who's a bit more like at your level of emotional maturity and everything so that you guys can both have a functioning relationship.
Yep.
Even though she was like, all the things that she was coming up with of like, oh, hey, we're going to do a weekend trip.
Right.
Like that's a great like last ditch kind of thing of like, hey, I believe you're better than this, so we're going to shake things up, get you out of this. And then maybe once we're in that different environment, we can have a talk about it where it'll actually go a bit better, because like BoJack he's not in a good way here, but he's very much not in a good environment here. Right. Like it's the alcoholic who's hanging out with an alcoholic, right? Like maybe don't do that.
No, bad idea.
Yeah.
Bad idea.
Right.
I also like that him blowing up at Wanda is something where he's absolutely upset at the way in which he's not getting any purpose or validation now that he's finally having his dream job be given to him, and then the actual essence of what it was supposed to mean be ripped away. means that ever since his childhood, he's been building up in his mind this, if I become an actor, then I might be able to play secretary, and then I'll be able to be my hero, and then I'll be able to feel what the feeling was back then in what he meant to me. I'll mean that to myself. But because it's not being done that way, he gets upset, he gets unhappy.
And he takes it all out on her.
He takes it all out on, specifically her, but in a lot of ways, himself and her. And she is in the blast radius because he's casting fireball directly at his own feet.
Sure.
And it's just
and that's where it's okay, if someone has a bunch of self-destructive tendencies like that, you got to separate. You got to have your distance.
Right.
Yeah.
And most of the stuff that's kind of going on here with how he kind of deflects in a lot of this is stuff basically saying that my problems and the way that I've experienced life gives me a license to be this way.
Right.
And one of the things that she kind of brings up that I think is a very, very interesting point here is that if someone is going through a situation here, it's good to be, vulnerable and let other people know what's going on here. But lots of people have really, really annoying, shitty situations, or there are lots of people that don't like their jobs, but that doesn't mean they have to take that specifically and bring it to other people.
In a lot of ways,
I think that's a cultural thing, but I think that there's an element of that that's actually really healthy.
Yes.
Your partner is not there to be your therapist, basically.
Correct.
They're there to be your partner. If you are having shit that you can't handle, you need to ask them and get permission from them to say, like, can you help me carry this? If they can't, then you need to seek professional help or seek someone that can.
Yep.
Your partner is not meant to be this catch-all for all the things that you need. You are still supposed to be your own person that figures out your own shit. You then bring each of your fragmented but seeking to be whole selves together with a kind of an understanding that you want what's best for the other person just as much as you want what's best for you. Yeah.
Like this conversation, this fight, and I feel like that's the kind of thing that happens a lot with fights. The actual things that are being brought up can be really good things to be brought up and important things to be brought up, but they're brought up in a bad way, right?
Sure.
Him talking about the stuff of, I have all of this frustration with executives that have ruined my life. This happened with Herb as well, and I still blame myself for that because I didn't stand up to them and everything. I mean, now I'm in a situation where I can't actually stand up to them because I set up this pattern, but also it's a different kind of situation.
It's a completely different situation.
It's a completely different situation.
He also needs this role, like,
and I need this role, and you know, for like financially, emotionally, for just general career and stuff. Oh God, what do I do? Right.
Yeah.
But he doesn't say it like that, right?
No.
He doesn't bring up that stuff. He brings up the executives like you, right? Right? And it's like, well, what's she supposed to do with that? Like, come on,
You are drinking, your alcoholism is rampant in this house, and you need to shape up or you're going to end up killing yourself. My dad killed himself. Oh, I'm really sorry you dealt with that, but that doesn't give you an issue to basically end up doing all this stuff that could then end up not only hurting yourself, but hurting me.
Yeah.
That's basically what BoJack did there. He did whataboutism and full on used that as a method to try and diffuse this by pointing a different target out there. And then she immediately gives the like, oh, wow, I didn't know that. I'm so sorry that things have been so hard for you. But that doesn't give you the right to be shitty to me. I can't be around someone that who's just fueled by bitterness and negativity. And the thing is that that's a very, very good point of something to be, brought up here.
Yep.
In a lot of ways, the idea that she's saying that he's fueled just by that, though, is an element of her kind of lashing back in the midst of the fight here. And yet, I think it's something that sets a very cool precedent for BoJack, where it's okay, I get that. Obviously, I'm currently fueled by a lot of bitterness and negativity. if I started making meaningful progress in that area, but I was still fueled by a decent bit of that, would that be okay? Would that be enough for you? And then she'd probably say something like, I don't know. We'll have to figure that out.
We can talk about that.
But the thing that he does immediately after that completely ruins the whole thing there of, wow, well, what about...
Then what are you doing here?
What are you doing here?
Right.
Like,
it's right because because the thing is that he hasn't actually been fueled just by bitterness and negativity this season. That in season 1, absolutely, right? And even then, you could argue that maybe it's not just, right? But there's a
lot of ego in there.
Well, yes. I mean, but that's where the bitterness comes from, right? You know, like
okay.
But the just, that's something that you decide, right? Because obviously there's going to be different situations where, you're an imperfect person, maybe you have some bitterness and negativity, and maybe you have a lot, right? But if, whether you're going to let that be just the thing that fuels you, that's totally up to you. Because even if you can't beat that big thing, even if BoJack doesn't feel like he can beat that big thing, even if he doesn't necessarily feel like he can change, the fact that he has been making the decision to try and fight it means that inherently that is not the only thing that fuels you. In fact, there's a very different thing that's fueling you right now. But by saying that afterwards, then what are you doing here? It's basically
acknowledging that that's right.
Yeah, right. He's basically saying you're not gonna
fix me.
Yeah, I can't fix me.
Kelsey
And
said,
if you're not gonna join me in my own self-pity and all that stuff, then
what are you
leave.
doing here? Yeah.
Right. But also what are you doing here? That's kind of the question that he's been asking himself this whole time because he thinks of himself as being so low that it's why is this person actually putting up with me? Right. So
there are things about you, BoJack, that are actually pretty decent.
And also, I think it's kind of funny that when someone comes to him for help that is acting very similar to how he has acted, of course he's going to be sympathetic to them. When his partner, who has said yes to him, is saying, I'm not saying yes to this, then it's well, wait a minute, but you did, because that's me, right? And if this is me, then wait, hang on. These things don't add up.
Yep. It's
and
almost
the thing
like,
is,
BoJack, you're more than just the things that you do.
Yep. Do you have shit that you have to work on, and it's very serious? Absolutely. But you are more powerful than you realize.
Yeah. There's an element of where when you think about who you are, like identity-wise and stuff, you can get into a chicken and egg situation where who you are informs what you do, but what you do kind of informs a little bit of who you are.
Right.
But one of the things that changes that and kind of breaks all the rules with regards to that little cycle there is what other people that you allow to be close to you do. It's the kind of thing where people need to acknowledge the influence that other people have on your identity. And generally speaking, like BoJack, for instance, he is allowed in a lot of ways his identity to be shaped by Secretariat. And thus, as this movie goes further and further away from his image of Secretariat in his head, he can feel himself disassembling as he realizes, this is not who I am. This is not who I am. I'm running in circles. What am I doing? Who am I? Who am I?
Oh, shit. Was this whole thing a house of cards?
Right. And this whole thing is a lie. It's falling apart. Who I am is not accepted anymore. But whatever. Point is that BoJack actually has a lot of decent connections with people, but he is constantly taking them for granted. So if he takes for granted the fragile persona he's built up himself all this time and doesn't lean on it every once in a while so that he can kind of hunker down a bit and, work on himself and stuff, he might actually crumble and fall apart. And I think this is very funny in a dark way that this is all happening amidst the context of, you know what the next scene they're going to be shooting is?
Or they would normally be shooting?
They would have been shooting?
Is the suicide.
It's the suicide scene at the bridge.
And
that they had changed because, that's a bit too dark. It's a bit...
And I could absolutely see it being something where as BoJack has been going through this season and he's been working on himself, he's been learning a lot of stuff from the Secretariat movie, that it's we're finally gonna come up against the big monster that I haven't really been able to face.
Right.
And all right, cool, awesome. And then suddenly, whether or not you'll be able to process your own suicidal ideation and tendencies is now in the hands of a studio exec
with focus groups and all that.
Right, exactly. And then it's like, oh fuck, right? And now he's running away again, running in those circles, just running in a bigger circle. And the problem is that the happiness that you're seeking with, what was her name?
Who?
The deer.
Oh,
we had it in here somewhere.
She's somewhere near the
Charlotte,
Charlotte,
thank you.
Yeah.
But with Charlotte, that's something that he could have just as well with Wanda.
Yep.
But he's not, right? Mm-hmm. He could have gone to Wanda and been like, I'm sorry, right? But he didn't. Yep. And the thing is that going to Charlotte, I think, is not inherently like a bad thing because hey, if you're in the mire too much, change your environment.
Get out of the tar pits.
Yeah, get out of the tar pits, right? Yep. You know, but you're still going to have to deal with all the shit that you weren't able to deal with Wanda, with Charlotte. Even in the best of cases, even if there are no environmental circumstances like, oh no, she got married or, you know, whatever, or, you know, something like that, right? Where she's not able to be that for you because a lot of time has passed and things are different.
Yeah.
But
yeah, that's where we're at. The next episode is going to be a doozy.
Yes.
And y'all, thank you so much for watching this episode's reaction and discussion. If you want to see the next episode's reaction and discussion right now, though, go check out the link in the description below for our Patreon. You can get an early access there. You can watch full-length timer reactions there, and all this comes with Discord access, so you can chat with us in the community there about this show, about animated shows in general, and also be sure to check out my Baldur's Gate 3 Let's Play on Twitch, and if any of that interests you, we'll see you there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all
next time.